All right.
Okay, so we have small gardens parked all over our yard because this yard was not designed for gardening. It was designed for grain farming by my grandfather. So we kind of picked the spots where we thought the soil was okay or where there was some trees to cover from wind. Because this being Saskatchewan, there's an awful lot of wind. So like for example, like we have a garden over there, which used to be a corral.
Yeah.
We kind of did the same trick a little bit as far as bringing in some sand, but like it's mellowed by, we grew successions of corn to drop the nutrients, and then everything has done quite well in it since. And here's another garden that we actually got our pigs to dig for us. So I mentioned before, pigs really like quack grass, and that's what was mostly there.
Yeah.
So we put 3 fairly large pigs onto this parcel, and just sort of like kept feeding them there and leaving them there until they had rooted up most of it. Pigs. Just a little note about pigs: they're pretty clean animals. They like to eat in one spot and poop in one spot, and so they don't move very much in their pooping spot. So they didn't till it all for us, but they did a good job.
Yeah.
And we haven't had having sandy land means that you'll have quackgrass going into your gardens quicker than almost any other weed. And in this garden, we've had relatively little quackgrass problems because the pigs just killed it back so effectively.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and in this garden we have we use a few kinds of mulch. We're always thinking about drought and how to conserve water, and so like we use flax mulch quite a lot. So most of this is covered with flax. Some parts are covered with poly as a better weed barrier. We use woven poly because we can reuse it year after year after year.
Oh yeah.
And then we run drip lines underneath it, and that's how we get nice squash.
Oh, and that's what's growing in there, squash?
That's mostly what's in this garden, yeah.
Oh. Do some borage?
Yes. Yeah, borage, yeah. Yeah, another one I'm always thinking of is pollinators, and my mother always wants to plant a bunch of flowers in the front of the garden.
Yeah.
Which I like. Yeah. And borage has been a great one because like you can just sort of tell the bees are happy with it.
Yeah.
Kind of. So it's sort of scattered all over our yard actually. One year I got a whole bunch of seed and put it everywhere, and then in some places it's actually a pain in the butt. We have to weed it every year. but I'm happy that we have it. And
Mom, I'm going to.
Yeah. Actually, another thing about pollinators, I should say. So this year we have a neighbor brought us leafcutter bees.
Yeah.
The leafcutter market sort of crashed, and so any farmer that keeps alfalfa, that's usually the guys who keep leafcutters. Yeah. And the leafcutter bees don't have any value, so guys sort of had extra ones they normally would have sold to somebody else. Yeah. And so we had a neighbor he parked a hut and set up nests for free, because he would rather they didn't just get killed or whatever, I guess. And so we have an extra group of pollinators on the yard.
Do you find that it makes a difference?
I don't know. I don't know yet, because we haven't really had a problem. Because one thing we do here, just as a byproduct of the way we farm in general, is we always have a good pollinator habitat. Oh yeah. Right. The whole pasture is sort of a pollinator habitat.
Yeah, because you're not tilling.
Yeah, exactly. And it's mixed. It's all perennial, sort of mixed grasses and various flowering plants. So yeah, pollination's been pretty good on our yard. Actually another one that people have mentioned to me, I've had neighbors say that they see a lot of barn swallows and that they hear a lot of bird song on my yard, which struck me when a neighbor told me this, because I thought my yard looks the same as yours. Yeah. With the shelter belt and all the things, and all I could figure is it was usually a grain farming neighbor who doesn't maintain a pollinator habitat, and sort of have an insect friendly yard, you could say. Yeah. Because the birds, that's important for birds, right? Yeah. And so I think we have more birds than most yards because of it too. Yeah.
What about reptiles, like frogs, salamanders?
Well, when we started farming, we had sort of historically high moisture years.
Yeah.
So we had crazy numbers of frogs. Yeah. Some years we even had slugs, which you don't usually see here much. Yeah. And yeah, the frogs were pretty exciting. Like it was kind of fun. The thing I always think of actually reptiles is in spring and fall. If I'm doing any digging, I'll find frogs and salamanders.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they always catch me off guard, especially salamanders, because like
Oh,
like
yeah.
you'll dig up something and you'll see like something wriggling. And you're like, what on earth? Oh, it's a salamander. Because like I often end up seeing the tail just sort of flapping around, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
So that's funny. Yeah, and we have garter snakes too.
Yeah.
Like I think there's usually a nest under that rock right there.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as I know, they keep some of the ground insects down and eat some mice.
Yeah.
So I don't mind them.
That's good.
Yeah. Being so close to the house or whatever.
Yeah.
They're nice. Actually, I like seeing them too. They're kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see the pigs all the way over there.
Yeah. So this is sort of a pasture where we're trying something a bit like here. That pasture has a lot of foxtail. It's all low-lying,
Yeah.
and it's a little bit alkaline. So what we're trying to do is we're mixing pig impact with cow impact. So we're bale grazing there to get the organic matter up, and that should help with the alkalinity. And then we're getting the pigs to disturb it a little harder than we usually let the pigs do,
Yeah.
to hopefully kill back some of the foxtail to give other species a chance to get in. And we're hoping if we did reduce the alkalinity with the bale feeding, then pioneer species like thistles or something that's not foxtail, frankly,
Yeah.
will sort of start showing up there, and that way our animals will have rehabilitated a patch of sort of sour land for us. It's still an ongoing experiment. It's an experiment. I'm not sure how well it's working. Yeah. So far mostly good actually. Hey. Yeah. There's definitely less foxtail. Yeah. Yeah. And the pigs have sort of mobile shelter and water. We could walk over a little closer, I guess.
Is Chaz over there? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. We have two groups of pigs here, sorted sort of by size. Those ones are sort of finishers or
Yeah.
market hogs kind of. So that's a group. We keep that group around a dozen because that's what we can fit. That's what we can easily convince to come into the trailer to be sorted
Yeah.
for when we send them to market. We do also do farm kill, but it's hard to get it all sold that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Jordan needs us to go to abattoir every time we do for him, for example.
Yeah.
And so this is the group that's just a little smaller in terms of the size of the pigs, but it's a larger group in terms of numbers of pigs.
Yeah.
And one thing we had to transition out of when we increased our pig numbers was hand feeding them every day. So we have our prototype of like a sort of a continuous feed. It's sort of set up so that they have to work a little bit to get the feed. So the hope is it'll just sort of slow them down and get them the right amount every day. We could change our ration too, just so that they don't grow quite so fast. And that's another sort of principle of like raising animals, is we don't want them to be too fast.
Yeah.
Because if you speed them up too much, there's no flavor.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's sort of, I mean, I think of like the meat chickens, and like if you have a meat chicken getting to sort of like full size for butchering in like 6 weeks, like that's a monster kind of.
Yeah.
And I don't want to create monsters.
Yeah. It's like caramelizing onions.
Yeah.
Can't speed it up.
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
And it's better.
The flavor, yeah.
So yeah, mobile shelter, it's sort of on skids, we can move it, and it's a water trailer there, and the feeder also can be easily moved. We just have a little tractor we use to haul them around. And
They look happy.
yeah.
And it's not stinky.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
We like that.
Yeah.
It's more pleasant for us.
Yeah. They're probably better for them too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of pigs are they?
So they're mostly Berkshire. Berkshires have a really good reputation for meat quality. Is sort of the shorthand, I guess. Like the meat tends to be a little bit darker, and the flavor's nicer. It stays juicier, so easier to cook and work with. And we like them as animals also, like as on the farming end. Their disposition is pretty laid back.
Yeah.
And they're relatively easy keepers, basically. There's also, I can see one that's got floppy ears. That's
Yeah.
not a Berkshire trait. That's large black.
Okay.
And we have those because we like them.
Uh-huh.
Same reason that we like the Berkshires, kind of. Like the meat quality is fairly high.
Yeah.
And their disposition is just really chill.
Nice.
And I like the floppy ears, kind of.
Yeah.
I remember reading about the floppy ears, that was an adaptation for keeping them in pens that didn't have a high fence line.
Yeah.
Basically, if they can't look up, they won't go up. But actually, pigs don't naturally want to go up ever. They don't like to jump.
Not climbers.
They're not climbers. Yeah, they would rather go down and root.
Yeah.
That's their sort of natural thing they want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, Berkshire and large black mainly. I have a few I tried from a neighbor. Again, with increasing our numbers, I had to get some pigs I had to branch out for sourcing more pigs.
Yeah.
So I have a neighbor that had landrace, which is a white pig, also with the floppy ears. They're a little more high strung, so I'm not sure that I like them. They're really aggressive at rooting, which is both good and bad.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you see any that are a lighter color here, I'm not seeing very many. Those are the landrace ones from our neighbor. And Tamworth was another breed we liked, which are actually kind of the oldest English breed of pig. But the same thing as the landraces, they're a little more high strung and a